Welcome back or welcome to my channel. I am Beyond Taylor, and I am here to mirror to you how you can go beyond your self-imposed limitations. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to become God over your unwanted circumstances. This is going to be a short but potent video. This is going to be very potent. So I know that you'll experience a shift while just watching this video. And if you don't experience the shift immediately, in the following days, it will just dawn on you. You'll be walking or you'll be doing something and you'll go, oh my God, this is it. This is it. It'll dawn on you. So don't be discouraged if you don't experience a shift immediately. Know that the process is happening. That's exactly what I told the group today inside of the 21-day ease experiment. We had our pre-call and I was telling them, like, don't try to figure out what I'm saying. Don't try to intellectualize it. Know that the process has already begun. It's already begun. We had a beautiful conversation in our first call of the 21-day ease experiment, which is all about getting your desires in the most easy, flow-based, fun way, right? Without all the doing and trying. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. Prices will double on the 10th, and we have our first official call Thursday. I don't know the date, but it's coming up. But we had our pre-call today, and it was amazing. So let's go into how to be God over your unwanted circumstances. So the first phrase of that is how to be God is a little bit misleading, because I can't really tell you how to be God because you've never not been God. I can't tell you how to be what you are. You are already that. And then the second part is unwanted circumstances. If you still think that you have unwanted circumstances, it's because you are forgetting that you are God. There are no unwanted circumstances. So how do you be God over your unwanted circumstances? By just remembering. And that is what I'm pointing you towards today, now, is to remember. And it's shaky, it's windy, but we're gonna rock and roll. The wind is welcome. It's all welcome, right? It's all welcome. Now, how do I know that you're God? Because what do you say if someone asks you who you are? You say, I am, or I, whatever it is you say, I, some variation of that. And that is God. Let's imagine for a moment, sink in with me, and let's imagine for a moment that someone comes right where you are and they put a spell, they have a magic wand, and when they zap it at you, all of a sudden, all of your memories are erased. All of your memories. Actually, no thoughts are present. So you can't think about your past. You can't reference the past, and you can't project into a future, because you need the past in order to project into the future, right? So let's just imagine that all of that is gone. Are you still you? Are you still you without having anything to reference yourself to? Okay. And if I ask you, well, who are you? Don't reference the past, because you don't have it. You don't have any memories. You've never been told a name. You've never been told an ethnicity. You don't know when you were born. What can you say that's true about your experience in this moment, about you? What could you say without referencing the past? The only thing you could say, and you've probably already said it, is I am, I know, I'm here. That's it. Other than that, you couldn't say anything else about the experience but I am, I know. You may not know who you are. You may not know what you are, but you know that you are. Right? And that's the common thread in all of your experiences throughout all your life. Can you tell me about any moment in your life when you were not aware? Tell me about one moment in your life when you were not aware. You can't. Because in order for you to tell me about you not being aware, you would have to be aware that you weren't aware. So there's no experience that's happened to you, for you, that this part of you that's not attached to a story wasn't there for. That is God. So you don't have to do anything to become what you are. It's just mainly about keeping your attention on it, on awareness itself, and not necessarily on the stories that create the separation, that create the false identity. There's nothing wrong with the false identity, right? It gives us distinction, and it allows us to know ourselves apart from, which is beautiful. It's only a hindrance when we forget that is only a fraction of the fullness of who we are. It's only a fraction. So let's go into the unwanted circumstances. You have unwanted circumstances, right? You're manifesting something. You're actively manifesting something. What is the desire? Tell me. Tell me the desire. Say it out loud. Say it to me. I can hear you. You have it now. This is also what I do in a group. I say, you have it now. You have it now. And someone in the group today, she said, I don't have it now, though, because of X, Y, and Z. She said, this is going on and this is going on. And I said, wait, but that's a story. What's happening in your immediate experience that would tell you that you don't have it now? Don't go into the story, because the story will say, well, because of this and because of, no, what's happening right in this moment that would confirm or affirm to you that you don't have it now? I want you to do the same thing, because I just told you. You told me your desire. I told you you have it now. And maybe a part of you went, no, I don't. But I don't, Taylor. I don't, because of X, Y, and Z. That's a story. Can you see that? Can the you who has no memories, has nothing to compare this raw, intimate experience with, see? That it's just a thought that's convincing you that you don't have it now. It's just a thought that's convincing you that the circumstances that you are in now are not favorable. Because when you just look out at your experience and you see colors and you see shapes and you hear sounds and you smell and you touch and you sense, nothing about that is unfavorable. Even the sensations that are uncomfortable, and even the idea that it's uncomfortable is just a story, even that, it's just sensation. It's always the stories, and you are not the stories. You are observing. You are always aware of stories. How do I know? Because if I take it all away, you remain. Here you are, free from all of your stories, free from all conditions. You no longer have to condition reality. You no longer have to condition your desire. That's another thing that I want to point to before we exit. You no longer have to condition your desires. You hear a lot of talk in the conscious creation space that you have to be a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You have to affirm what you want. And I say, why? You are the I am. You are creation itself. You don't have to do anything. It's being done. It's being done for you. Look around. Are you making yourself see? Do you have to force yourself to hear me? Do you have to force yourself to feel what you're feeling, or is it just happening? That is the whole of your experience. You're not doing it. It's happening within you, within your imagined state, which this is your imagined state. Right here, you're looking at it. We say imagination creates reality, yeah, because you are in your imagination. So you don't have to do anything. And the problem, or it's not a problem, it's just what is, right? But I find that when I am speaking to other souls, and they are talking to me about, why they've been experiencing time delays, why they have these unwanted circumstances, is because they're like, because I am not, keeping my attention on the idea or on the belief that I have it, right? I keep going into the old stories, right? That we hear so much about limiting beliefs. And the only reason why you see that as a problem is because somebody told you it was a problem. And I'm here to wipe all of that away and tell you that that's not even a problem. That's not a problem. Nothing is a problem. And the moment you stop calling it a problem, the moment that it can just leave your awareness gently and swiftly, because you're not holding on to it. You're not feeding it your attention. Because the thing is about the conditioned mind is that when we have a problem, we fixate on it. The conditioned mind, it fixates on the problem because it wants to solve it. So it's like, because like where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. So because the attention is fixated on trying to fix the problem, the energy is there in like manifesting the problem. And I'm not saying take your attention off of it. I'm just saying, see that it's not a problem. See that the thought that's saying I need to solve this problem is just a thought. And it's automatic, just as automatic as you seeing, you hearing, you feeling, you tasting, you touching. You smelling, right? What do you know about your experience outside of your senses? Can you tell me anything about your experience outside of your 5 senses? And actually the 6th sense. The 6th sense is thinking. We imagine and then we think in words. But that is all we know about reality, are those sensations. Full stop. You can't tell me anything else about it. Yet you spend most of your time imagining and in the thought world, forgetting that all of these other senses are available for you. And it's just pointing you to remember, to see. It's like here, now. This is fulfillment. This is wholeness. This is abundance here, now. But then and it's not your fault, right? You're not even doing the taking your attention to your thoughts. It's just habitual. You've learned it because you've been taught what reality is. And you've been taught what's the best way to make sense out of reality, that your attention just keeps going to trying to name and understand. So you want to understand how you're God. You want to understand how imagination creates reality. You want to understand how to fix your circumstances, how to consciously manifest. And I'm telling you, you don't want to understand, because you can't understand. Because it doesn't exist in the limitations of the conditioned mind. This is beyond the conditioned mind, which is why you hear that God has ways that we know not of. Let me tell you a story. When we were coming to, first we went to Malaysia. We were traveling to Southeast Asia. We made the decision, me and my boyfriend, we are going to Southeast Asia. We don't really have a full plan. This is what we want to do. And because I know that imagination creates reality, I just knew it was going to work out, right? I have a business. I won't say that like I'm making 10K months, right? I'm not making $10,000 a month, and I'm not like, I am, right? But I am abundant, right? I am abundant. And I know that. And I know that abundance follows me everywhere I go. And I'm always okay. That's always been the experience. When I turn my attention to the truth that I am God. So as we were getting ready, my boyfriend though, we're how are we going to financially support ourselves, right? We're going into the how. We're going into like, what can we do to make sure that when we go out there, because we have savings, but what can we do to make sure that when we go out there, we're going to be okay, right? We want to do this for at least a year, right? And at the time he was working in IT, and he was looking for another job. It was coming up. We had already bought our tickets. We got our first 3 months at the place we were staying in Malaysia. Actually, we stayed there for a month. We got our first month, place we were staying in Malaysia. And it's like, okay, well, you have to find a job because we're not going to have anything coming in weekly except for from our business. And if you run a business, it's not like guaranteed money, right? It's kind of, it's not chance, but I was still learning. I was still understanding business. Anyways, my business wasn't stable enough to support us. We were being supported from my boyfriend's income. But the date is coming. He was applying for jobs, and nothing. So I started to notice, and at this point I was doing a lot to try to manifest it too. I was doing too much. And then I started to remember that, wait, I don't have to do anything but accept the state. I just accept that it's done. It's done, and I am. And I just started to keep turning my attention to awareness itself. Keep turning my attention to the fact that I am. That's it. Like there's nothing else to say other than that. Just keep turning my attention to I am, right? And what happened is that my boyfriend ended up literally he had put in his, and I was so mad at him too, because I was still like in the conditioned mind and not understanding that like I'm in the bridge of events, and I'm telling you, no matter what's happening in your reality, I don't care if you're doubting, I don't care if you have fears, I don't care if you're confused, I don't care if you act in opposition, I don't care what you do, it's done. It's done. There's nothing that can change that, because you are God, because you say I am. That's it. That's it. So I forgot that though, and I was in a conditioned mind, and I'm thinking that he told me that he had put in his 2 weeks, and I said, why would you put in your 2 weeks? I wanted him to work until the end so he could get every little dollar that he could before we leave, because I knew he didn't have another job. So I'm like, why would you put in your 2 weeks? You know, that doesn't make any sense. And I was freaking out, and I had a lot of fear, but I worked through it. Right, I worked through it within. I got my nervous system, because I had been doing so many nervous system expansion practices where I saw that energy of like the fear and the scarcity and the lack. I didn't see that as an enemy. I just saw it as sensation, right? Because of the practices I was doing. We also are doing nervous system expansion practices inside of the 20-day ease experiment. So definitely sign up. Check the link down below. See if it'll be a good fit. It's $21 for until November 10th, and then the price doubles, but you still get access to all calls, all past recorded calls, even if you join after we start. And you'll get access to the Telegram group, where you'll get all the audio transmissions that are meant to bypass the conditioned mind and touch the part of you that is us, right? Go past the you and go to the part of you that is us. So anyways, I was freaking out, but then I remember that this is just sensation, and let it go, right? Let it go. Uh-oh, sorry. When I tell you that a week later, it was like a week later after he put in his 2 weeks, he calls me and he says, babe, I just got fired. And I started I was like, what do you mean you got fired? So now we don't even have that last week of pay. So this is where my mind first went. Now we don't even have that last week of pay because you got fired and you don't have a job. Like, what are we going to do? My mind was doing all that. But it didn't matter, because it was already the mind can say whatever it wants. It can freak out. But at the time I was like, oh, I'm freaking out. This means that I'm not in the vibration of abundance. This means that, not realizing that because I'm saying that this means that, I'm just affirming that. I'm affirming that this means that something's wrong. That me doubting means that something's wrong. That's just a belief. This is just what's appearing. This is just what's happening. There's nothing wrong about it. So I'm freaking out, but then he comes home and he tells me, and he says, I'm going to apply for unemployment. And I didn't even think about that. And I was like, oh yeah, you can apply for unemployment because they fired you. And I was like, wait, but, and it was a reason why he got fired too, right? But it's just like, why would they fire you when you had a week? They should have just let you finish the week out. It makes zero sense why they would fire him when he had a week left. Because yeah, he could apply for unemployment, and he did. And we've been living off his unemployment. I mean, my business brings in a decent amount a month, but just the fact that he did not have to look for another job, because we've been living off his unemployment. That's the bridge of events. To go from freaking out, how are we going to do this? And then me just accepting and being as I am. Of course, his job would fire him a week before so that he could apply for unemployment, so that we could have enough money to support us for our first 6 months traveling across the seas. Of course that would happen. Of course. Even though it makes absolutely zero sense to do that. But it's not about making sense, because God has ways that we know not of. It's just about accepting the state. In the state, we were living across seas, and we were fine, and we were not worried about money, and we were not worried about our finances. And even when the thought of worrying about money comes up, see, I would say even for weeks before a few months before. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Until the last week, I would say, I was still saying to him, we have to think like the most abundant versions of ourselves. We need to act like the most abundant versions of ourselves. But all that meant is the version that I'm being now isn't enough. And I just and I just see that that's just that's just baloney, that's trash, and that's just creating this new belief of how I should be in order to get my desires. Not realizing that I don't need to do anything. I just need to accept, claim, and then go about my business. I claim this. I am this now. And any thought that says otherwise, I just remain as I am and just watch it. And that's exactly what you are going to do, because you are God. You see it. You saw it. Just this, and this is what you want. Notice the thought that's coming up that's saying, but this is not what I want because I don't have this, and I notice that that's just a thought. And go back to what is right in front of me. What is around me? What do I feel inside of me? What part of this color is telling me that this is not my desired reality? Unless you say like, I want a purple room, or I want to live in a house that's all purple and your walls are white, and you look and you say, no, but look, I'm telling you, I'm claiming that I have a purple room, right? You said claim it, I claim it. I'm claiming I have a purple room, but I look at my walls and they're white. So how do you take that? How do you take that? And I say, don't fight it. It's done. You have it. You have it now. The same way you use your mind to create lack and to create doubt and confusion, see purple. You have the power of imagination. See purple now. You're playing with the imagination anyway. You're playing with the mind anyway in ways that aren't helpful. So when it comes to the immediacy, outside of like, okay, if you're right in the moment, just imagine in the moment that you see what you see now. But when you're not in the moment, if you're at the library and you're like, I want purple walls, and you don't, nothing in that experience is telling you that you don't have it. That's what I mean. But when you're right in the face of the experience, that's when you utilize the power of your imagination, where you choose to see what you would see were it true now. And that's it. And if you're trying to force yourself to see it, let it go. Drop it. Just drop it. And just fall in love with just the color. Oh, there's color and there's me. And I am. And I said short, and so I'm going to end it here. But that's it. How to be God over unwanted circumstances. You don't need to figure out how to be God. You are it now. You don't have any unwanted circumstances. Having is evidence of wanting. You wanted it. You have what you want right now. And use your imagination. So that's all I got. I really wanted this to be 15 minutes, but that's okay. I love you all. And I'll be seeing you soon. Sign up, sign up, sign up, so that we can have back and forth. Like we can have back and forth in the live calls, and then you'll also be receiving. Imagine getting these nuggets every day. Just real short transmissions, potent transmissions, to keep you in the remembrance that you are it now. The practice is to expand your nervous system to see what you want as safe and normal, and to stop fighting your sensations, and then to have calls where we can have back and forth, so that I can mirror to you the truth that you already know beyond the conditioned mind. That's all I got. I love you, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.